Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday to you. Welcome back to In the Trenches with Dr. Tammy. Now, listen, I need to make sure that I say this because I missed it on my last episode. I needed to thank Kawanda Greer. She was the designer of the decor for the brunch. So please, please, please forgive me. Charge it to my head, not my heart. It was amazing. I will drop some photos so that you can see everything that everyone did on that beautiful day. So thank you again. Thank you again for making that day so successful. The second annual Women Empowerment Brunch, hosted by yours truly at In the Trenches with Dr. Tammy. Now, you all know that I tell you often that I will get up and I will have one thing on my mind to share with you, but then I am moved and led by the Most High to share something else with you. So on this day, I am going to pivot. I am wearing, I don't know if you can read it, but my shirt says, I love someone with autism. And I know you're wondering, why is she even sharing that message with us today? Well, I'm sharing it with you for this reason. One, it's true. And two, it's my oldest daughter, Sierra. You all have heard this before. She has autism, and she is often so either ready to get going in the mornings or so not so ready to get going in the mornings. So this morning, she wasn't so ready to get ready to go. She was not so ready. But that's okay because what do? We pivot. I turn on that music. She loves music. And her mood, quickly changed. And as I'm dancing with her this morning, I am compelled to share with you that it is important for us to take the time to pivot or to choose to change our moods. No matter what is happening around us, we have to make that choice. You see, interacting with her daily reminds me of how blessed we all are. You all know that I've shared with you before that she is moderately to severely impaired. And in her 30s, she is not able to read or write. However, she is a dancing queen. There is not a song that she hears one time and doesn't remember it the next time that she hears it. I'm sharing this with you because we often take for granted the very blessings that God has given to us. While she may not be able to do many of the things that you and I do perfectly on a daily basis, she is an absolute blessing to me and my family. Those of us who are around her, even in this world of chaos, we are reminded of what true unconditional love looks and feels like because she gives it to us. She lets us know every day how she feels. And so many of us in this world right now, we are not doing that. We're only concerned about ourselves. We're not reaching out to others. We're not checking in. We're taking for granted that everyone is doing okay, when the truth of the matter is life is lifing. And so many of us are not okay. Jobs are being lost. People are furloughed. Tables are empty. Foods in the refrigerator decreasing. Some refrigerators are empty. Stoves are cold and not warm or heated because there's no food to place on them. Yet in the middle of all of this, I can look at that girl smile and just be humbled, be reminded of the beauty that still does exist in this world. It allows me to remember that I can pray for others, even if I don't have the actual resources to give to them. It reminds me to check on them. A quick text, a quick phone call, a quick message to someone can make their entire day. Right now, people are struggling. Check in on them. Let them know that you are here. Show a kindness. Show a kindness to someone who may need it. You might be the only kindness that person receives today. Do that. You see, we must stop taking for granted the things that we've been blessed with. And I don't mean material things. I'm talking about the way your grandmother used to pray and thank God for waking her up in her right mind. For the fact that all of her limbs, that's what she would say, were still functioning. That is a blessing in and of itself. And when I look at my beautiful girl, I'm reminded to never take anything for granted. When she gets off that bus in the afternoons from the center, she makes an announcement. Mommy, I'm home. And if I am feeling down or sad about anything, that announcement, whoo, lifts my spirits. Because not only does she announce it, but when she enters that room, her smile is contagious. It is beautiful. And then I ask her, how was your day? And as simplistically as she possibly can, she says, it was good. Now, for those of us who don't understand what I'm saying to you, let me try it for you this way. You have capabilities that she does not, yet she still finds beauty in this world. The same beauty that we all see, but so many of us are taking it for granted. This is your moment to pivot, to change the way you look at the world, despite what is happening around you. Find the good. Find the silver lining. Find it. It exists even in the darkest of times. Now, some of you may be saying, Dr. Tammy, you are not unemployed right now. Dr. Tammy, there might be food on your table right now. Your bills might be paid right now. My response to you is this. Right now, it is. But I need you to hear me very clearly when I say this to you. There have been many times in my lifetime in which the bills were not paid, in which I actually have looked at my children and said, I am not sure where we are going to get this money for the food. Wasn't sure how the bills were going to be paid because I had more bills than I had money. And as a mother, that is a very difficult place to be in. Here I am looking at myself. You're educated. You have a job, yet you are still struggling. Many of us have been there. There have been times where I didn't have a job. I didn't choose that. But I still had to figure out how to make a way. So yes, I understand where many of you are right now. It's tough. It's tough. It is tough. Did I cry some days? Absolutely. Because when those faces were looking at me, smiling, waiting on a hot meal, I couldn't let them down. I had to figure out a way to put that food on the table. They never knew back then. They never knew back then that the money was very slim, that the bank account looked bleak. They never knew. There's even been times since they've been young adults that they never knew, yet they could come to my house and still pick some things off the shelf because they think it's a grocery store over here. I never said mom doesn't have it. Now, was I wrong for that? Maybe. Maybe I should have let them know that, hey, we're struggling a little bit. Let's pull back on some things. But that's a burden I didn't want them to carry. That was my place. So what did I do? I had to pivot. I do understand that right now, making the choice to pivot or actually taking the opportunity to pivot is more difficult because more and more people are right now looking for employment. More and more people are looking for assistance. I understand that. I understand that very clearly. But I am asking those of you who do not need to pivot financially or prayerfully, reach out and give resources to those who you know need it. And for those of you who are in need, try to pivot. Even though it looks tough, even though times look bleak, try to find an opportunity, an avenue for additional funds. Look to all of your resources. I will tell you that they're out there. They may be few and far between, but they are there. They are there. Make some phone calls. This is something that you may or may not know that you can do. Make those phone calls. This can be a part of your pivot. Call your bill collectors. And I say that because they're looking for some money from you right now, and you may or may not have it. Call them. Explain your situation. They will take arrangements, most of them. There are only a few out here who are just, in my opinion, cruel and uncaring. But there's something waiting for them. I won't speak on that, but there is something waiting for them. But for you, in your pivot, make those calls. Call your mortgage company, your car financing company. Call your utilities companies, even your credit card companies. Call them. Have those conversations with them. Believe it or not, so many of them are waiting on you. They have options. There are plans. Many of your mortgage companies, you didn't know this, will take that mortgage and modify it. They will either break your mortgage up into portions or take a couple of payments and add it to the end. So will the people who finance your cars. But that's not information that's readily shared. Now you're saying, well, how do you know this, Doc? Well, because in those moments in which I had to pivot, I made some calls. I'm not ashamed to say it. Every day of my life hasn't been filled with roses. But the difference is I still chose to see them, even when they didn't exist. I took the time to pivot. I took the time to smell the non-existent roses because I had to choose. I had to choose to take care of my family. Had to choose to make sure we were able to keep the things that they needed. Put myself on the back burner, but make sure they were taken care of. So I'm asking you today, what is your pivot? And if you need help making that pivot, you know how to find me. I'll walk you through it. Just know that you are not alone. And as I end the podcast today, and I'm asking you to pivot, and I've shared my experiences with you, I want you to remember this. When you make that pivot and you're changing what's happening around you as best that you possibly can, please try to do it with a positive outlook, even though it looks dark, even though you may not see any way out. And when you do that, even though you may have never ever seen my child's face, I want you to think of that huge smile that she has when she flings that door open every afternoon around 3:30 and says, "Mommy, I'm home." She has announced it and made her presence be known. When you pivot, whether it's small or large, make your presence known. You have got this. You are not alone. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you. Much love. Much, much, much love.